What's going on, everybody? Thank y'all for tuning in. This is another episode of PPP, the Pigskin Posse Podcast, which is the football segment of Taking Shots. I'm Tim, and that's Ryan. Ryan, what's up with you, bro?
Yeah, what's up, Nick?
You know me, man, chilling. You know, another exciting weekend of football is in the books.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just say, go ahead.
And college is almost over.
Don't do that. You're gonna have me crying next. Please don't do that. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't start. I'm gonna put the Jordan face on your ass. Don't start ugly crying, man.
like my Lakers last night was up by damn near 20 points and lost by. Anyway, yeah.
I ain't even see that game.
This is a football. I mean, I started to watch it, but I left. But yeah, I started to watch some of this shit. But whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't really had the chance to watch much basketball. I mean, I think we've already discussed this. Like, I usually don't watch and pay attention until like the second half of the season because it's there's a lot of fucking. It's just like baseball. It's not as many games, but there's a lot of fucking basketball to watch. So.
For me, I start paying attention right around Christmas. That's when I really start watching more basketball.
After all the trades start going through and all that shit. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, boy, do we got a lot of shit to talk about today. The crazy fucking weekend of football, crazy weekend of college football, and pretty pissed off at the college football playoff committee. Before we jump into it, bro, I need to ask the college football playoff committee, what is the criteria for setting these fucking rankings or like picking what teams is going to be in the fucking college football playoff? Like, I know what it is, but like what I got to do to get on the committee? Because I don't think half of them motherfuckers know what the fuck they be talking about.
A lot of this shit, I think I've said this before, a lot of this shit is this past seasons, conference that you play in, strength of schedule.
Quality of wins.
Right. If you did lose, what did that team that beat you, what did they do? All that stuff plays into it, ranked opponents. But I honestly feel like this is probably the first time since 2017, 2018, they got it right. I feel like anyway.
Well, the teams that's supposed to, I don't agree with necessarily the rankings of the teams, but with the teams that's in it, I definitely feel like they got it right. A lot of people are butthurt about Bama, not being in the top four, but why? I mean, the fuck have they lost 2 games. They lost 2 games to 2 highly ranked opponents.
You lost to an overranked LSU, and you lost to overachieving Tennessee team. So I mean, 2 losses is 2 losses, bro. But if TCU would have lost, and if TCU would have lost and USC, then you know what I'm saying. You would have had 3. Well, if Tennessee didn't lose, you would have had 3 teams in the top 10 with 2 losses.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I keep trying to tell y'all before they change this format. I promise you, a 2-loss team would get in at 4. I promise you.
Yeah, and I'm speaking of Tennessee, I want to give a shout out to Hendon Hooker. That man was having an incredible fucking season. For those of y'all that's not familiar, to a couple weeks ago, he hurt his leg in the 4th quarter. I think it was the South Carolina game, and news came out later he had an ACL tear. It sucks because he was up there in the Heisman race. His draft stock was where the fuck it was supposed to be. I think if he'd have been able to, I don't know, because of the way that game was going, but if he could have stayed healthy, I think it's a possibility that they somehow could have got back in the fucking college football playoff because they're in the SEC, and we all know that the SEC is the darlings of the fucking college football world. So,
bro, it's like dog, like. It's a weird triangle because Georgia almost lost to Mizzou, but then Mizzou beat a ranked uh, South Carolina squad, and
Mm-hmm.
then South Carolina loses to a no-name fucking school. Then they close out outside losing to Mizzou, then they quietly win, and then they close out beating two top 10 teams
Yeah, and one of what was
two
it?
weeks in a row.
With Tennessee, it was not Tennessee.
That was an ass whooping when they
L
beat
wasn't it?
Tennessee.
It was LSU, wasn't it? Last that beat damn, who did they just play? They beat the shit out of
They
them
got that.
too.
No, LSU got their ass whooped by
No,
them.
Clemson. When it Clemson, they beat Clemson.
No, you thinking Notre Dame.
No, South Carolina. Who did South Carolina just beat?
Yeah, they beat Clemson by a point. It
Yeah,
really should have been. It really should have been a touchdown, but they called some bullshit, so they set up for the field goal. But like, come on, bro, they kicked that field goal with like 10 minutes left in the fourth.
yeah. And then
And
they couldn't do nothing. That DJ couldn't do nothing after that.
right. So I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know, but I mean, like this season in college football is special because it was crazy.
Yeah,
You really it wasn't like okay these two teams and everybody else. It's this one team and everybody else. Everybody could have got it. And then hold on, bring up my point with the SEC. Then Kentucky goes and plays number one Georgia, and Georgia only beats them by 10 points.
yeah. And I'm glad you touched on that. But I can't say this is probably the first year. I don't know if it's the first year, but I know it's the first year in a long time where we have a team from 4 different conferences in the fucking college in the top 4, which I love that because we don't have 2 teams from the Big 12 and 2 teams from the fucking SEC. Like it, let's just go through the rankings. We're only gonna do the top 6 because
Hold on. Not to. I'm sorry. I'm not to cut you off. I'm so sorry, but
you good.
that first playoff was Florida State as ACC. No, because it was it Ohio State and
It was
Michigan
Ohio.
State?
Yeah, it was both Ohio State and Michigan State. We just did. I
How
didn't.
the fuck did that happen? Because they
That
had
was
them two teams had to play each other
they did.
in the conference. Well, no, y'all on the same side.
Well, no, we're on the same side, but I think each of us only had 1 loss, so it's that shit's interchangeable. Dude, you still because you got to keep in mind you still got to go through Big Ten title week before you can get to the college football playoff, which is kind of what happened. This year. Let's go ahead and jump off into the rankings. So we got Georgia at number 1 currently. They still have to play number 11 LSU for the SEC title. At number 2, we got Michigan. They got to play Purdue for the Big Ten title, which they're going to fucking mop the floor with Purdue. Then again, it's college football. We've seen crazier things happen. That number 3, we got TCU, which I'm a touch on that shit in a minute because I got some shit to say. Number 3, we got TCU. They have to play number 13 Kansas State for the Big 12 title. And at number 4, we got USC. They have to play number 12 Utah for the Pac-12 title, of which Utah, yeah, that's gonna be a good one. And then at number 5, we got Ohio State, who's sitting idle. They're and if Michigan somehow loses, then Ohio State more than likely is gonna get in. And then we have at number 6, we got Alabama. The only way they get in is if they gotta hope TCU and USC lose. If they need at least 2 of these teams to lose, because I think with the way shit works in the SEC, everybody knows this. You can be undefeated in the SEC, be number 1. But if you lose, depending on who you lose to, like if you lose the conference championship game or whatever, the lowest Georgia's gonna be is number 4. They're still gonna be in it some way, somehow. If there's not a,
I'd say 3.
probably. I mean, come on, man. If we all know if there is not an SEC team in the fucking college football playoff, the NCAA is gonna fucking riot, and you can't tell me no different.
Now let me ask you this. Okay, if LSU doesn't fuck up last week, I mean, how do you lose to A&M? I mean, but like, if Jimbo was gonna save his job, I guess it's that one. But what I'm trying to ask you is, if LSU, let's just say they didn't lose last week and they beat Georgia this week, do they get in?
I think so, because I think you rank them. I think you bump Bama down, and I think you because LSU was sitting at number 6, I believe. So I think I want to say 6 or 7, five or 6, one of the two.
Last week I think they was at 5.
Yeah. So I think you bump I think you bump Alabama down, and with the Ohio State loss, you either put you could either do LSU at number 6 and Ohio State at number 5, or you could put Ohio State at Ohio State at number 6, LSU at number 5. So there's multiple ways that you can do this shit. But yeah, I agree. If LSU doesn't lose, I think regardless, depending on how the fucking SEC title game goes, I think they get into the college football playoff somehow.
That would have been interesting to see. Not gonna lie.
Yep. But all I got to say about these fucking college football playoff rankings, let's call a spade, man. If these rankings are based off of strength of schedule, quality wins, all that shit, then TCU should be number 1. They have more. Just listen. I'm just saying. Hold on. Now let me break it down to you. TCU.
You're gonna have to.
TCU has more ranked wins. Has more wins over ranked opponents. 5.
Yeah,
they have more wins. They have more
how many
wins.
Top 10?
That I think the only top 10 win. I think the only win they have in the top 10 is number 8, Oklahoma State, and they were number 13 at the time. But here's just hear me out. They have more ranked wins than Michigan and Georgia combined. Georgia's ranked wins were over Oregon and Tennessee. Michigan's ranked wins were over Penn State, who they were ranked ahead of, and Ohio State, of course, last week in the fucking Big Ten title game.
It's not Georgia's fault that teams started losing games the week before they played them.
Yeah, but they didn't have a strong schedule. I mean, and then they barely beat fucking Kentucky. They damn near lost to Mizzou. They had, who else did they play? Fucking, I think not Wake Forest, Vanderbilt. They played the weak side of the fucking SEC.
Bro, they on that side, bro. That's why they keep going back. Like, only person they have to play every year is LSU.
Right.
And A&M. Only teams they have to play. So, I mean, but what you just said, it's the same not for, they said against Alabama for years.
And then it's like, if you think about it, both of these teams, they ranked wins was so fucking far apart. TCU had 4 straight weeks where they had to play a ranked opponent. Now, Ryan, don't kill me. Their first one was against your Oklahoma Sooners. They were
put them in a blender. Put them in a blender.
At the time, TCU was unranked. OU was number 18. The following week, TCU came in at number 17, beat number 19 Kansas. Then the week after that, TCU came in at number 13, beat number 8 Oklahoma State. Then right after that, they had to play Kansas State. TCU came in at number 8, beat number 17 Kansas State. Then you jump 2 weeks ahead of time. TCU came in at number 4 and they beat number 18 Texas, which I'm tired of them overhyping the fuck out of Texas, but you get my drift.
They was going to keep Texas because of the Alabama game. They was going to keep Texas ranked this year. This is like the longest I've seen Texas ranked. What, like in 5 years?
Just about shit since before that fucking Sam Ellinger year, but look where the fuck he's at now.
No, 4 years. 4 years.
But yeah, I mean, you get my drift. In the they had to play a ranked team in 4 straight weeks. So they should, if not number one, they should at least be number 2. So I don't know. None of us, for us that watch college football, not a lot of us agree with this fucking college football playoff selection committee. Like, they need to either get some of the college football legends to do this shit, or get the fans to do it. Because the people that's really doing it don't know what the fuck they doing.
That's why in 2024, personally, I want to see 16. I've always said I'll take 12. So they go into the 12-team format, which is beautiful.
Right.
So every conference champion has an automatic bid. So strength and schedule. So you can have 2 losses, kind of
Right.
like the BCS. So let's say you go, 1-3 or 1-2 your first 3 weeks,
And
and
then
then
you
you just
just
win the
beat the
fuck
shit
out.
out of beat the shit out of
Yeah,
everybody. Yep.
yeah. Then motherfuckers will start losing late. So it's gonna be beautiful. So pretty much every conference champion is gonna get in. That's 5, and you would think every runner-up is gonna get in. That's 10.
Yep.
And then the teams you really think if they had an opportunity to do something, those 2, they gonna get in. So
Mm-hmm.
college football is probably, bro, they gonna call this the golden age probably 20 years from
Yeah, all
now.
these
College
fucking
football.
all the people that's just now getting into college football, you motherfuckers is spoiled as hell. I mean, let's go back to the days when we had to wait until the fucking the Rose Bowl and the Peach Bowl and all that shit to see who was gonna be number 1 versus number 2.
I mean, let's go back to where you pretty much had to go undefeated. You had to play. I mean, strength and schedule really matters. So that's why everybody was going everywhere playing each other and shit because they wanted to say we were the best at this time and all that bullshit. But you mean to tell me like it was some type? I couldn't even tell you. Like they put some numbers in the computer and then spit out 2. Like nigga, I'll be 1,000 with you, bro. 2000 Oklahoma had no business being in the national championship game. No, I wouldn't say that. Not no business being in there, but business winning one.
Yeah.
Because there's no way in the world you have an undefeated Miami team that steamrolled everybody that year. And then Florida State gets in with a team that they beat that year. By the way, no, I think Miami lost like late. That's what did it. So it's like, you mean to tell me Miami had a shot that year to play for a national championship with all them niggas on there? That's when everybody on from that was a freshman from 99 to what 01, 02
Oh,
is in the
yeah,
fucking
102.
is in the NFL Hall of Fame.
That's just the
Every star
beauty.
player.
That's always just the beauty of college football, man. That's why we love this shit so much. You can't, I mean, unless you like fucking Alabama, there is no like one team there's no one team that you can say is gonna dominate.
But Alabama took those Miami teams that I was just talking about and turned that shit into like damn near 20-year thing, bro. So it's like to see Alabama with 2 losses, like, oh my God. But remember the last time Alabama had 2 losses happened the next year. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, which I'm very fucking terrified of because everybody knows anytime Bama misses out on the college football playoff or like don't make the national championship, with the exception of this year. Well, they didn't make the national champ. They're not going to make the national championship this year. We don't think so, but we'll see. But yeah, with the exception of a couple years ago, every time Bama misses out on the college football playoff or the national championship, they reload and they come back and beat the shit out of everybody. So it's gonna be scary hours next year. Then again, I don't know because Texas A&M is losing all their recruits. Which fuck you, Jimbo. That's what the fuck you. That's your karma for what the fuck you did to them kids at Clemson. That's what your ass get. They are literally losing all their fucking recruits. So this offseason with the transfer portal and the NIL shit, all the recruits coming in next year, it's gonna be the shit's gonna get very interesting.
Jimbo has had the same problem ever since Jameis Winston went to the NFL. He can't find a quarterback. I mean, damn. That lets you know they don't really build good quarterbacks on trees, man. They don't grow them on trees, man. So
well, he was kind of hoping that DeAndre Francois he was gonna be able to piggyback off of what Jameis did. Then he got hurt, then he got kicked out, of fucking Florida State, and they just wasn't the same after that.
Yeah. So I mean, Jimbo probably should get fired this year. I doubt it. He if this shit happens next year, he's gone. Because honestly, they invested too much money,
Yeah,
and they in the coaching and players. I mean, but how do you consistently finish in the top 10, top 5 every year recruiting? And it just doesn't, like, you don't see
it
the
don't
results
resonate. It
on
don't
the
resonate.
field.
Well, I think not everybody has the formula that like Bama and Georgia does. I mean, Bama, they always got 4 and 5 star recruits sitting on the bench as they second and third stringers. And they spend so much, they spend 2-3 years together. So that team's always gelling. And everybody, especially in college, I'm not gonna say everybody, but in college, everybody's in that has that win now mindset. So, and then with the transfer portal, people being able to play like right after transfer, and it's fucking shit up. I'm not gonna say it's fucking shit up, but not every school is able to put that shit together like Bama can. They just been like, shout out Nick Saban, man. He just, he's got the formula.
He has an eye for coaches though, bro. Cause like, how many times Bama will go on a run when they win a couple national championships, and then he got to pretty much replace the whole fucking coaching staff. Or in 2 years, he's replaced the whole coaching staff.
He's the Bill Belichick of the NCAA.
I mean, shit, McDaniel should have stayed his ass. I mean, like, it's just like when he was at the fucking Broncos. Like, he had a decent quarterback, Jay Cutler, had a good receiver, Brandon Marshall, and at least they won like I think they was like 7-0, like 7-1.
Yeah,
that went bad.
Yeah, that particular year.
Yeah,
and I mean they made the conference championship and all that shit. So
yeah, but I don't know. But honestly, bro, who finna win that championship this year? Not unless Caleb Williams just goes stupid, it's gonna be Georgia, bro.
I was just going to ask you that. So with the rankings being how they are right now, Georgia number 1, Michigan number 2, USC number 4, TCU number 3, USC number 4, Ohio State, and Bama number 5 and 6. Who do you see who you see going to the national title game?
Okay, I got a couple scenarios. One scenario is TCU USC loses. Then we'll see Ohio State and Bama probably get in. Another scenario, everybody just wins. Then it'll be. I feel like if USC gets a blowout win and the Big 12 championship game is how it was last year, they might let USC leapfrog because that would be 3 ranked. I mean, Oregon losing kind of fucked all this up, man.
Yeah.
Oregon losing kind of really, like, for their argument. So honestly, it'll probably just be everybody that we have ranked in the top 4. That's set. So shit though. Georgia versus USC. Now that TCU Michigan game is gonna be very interesting.
Well, yeah, it's going, and that's why I say, like, if TCU, TCU's number 3, which is, I don't know, man. Me personally, I got it being Georgia and Michigan, and I got Michigan coming out on top simply because only thing Georgia has is the defense. They don't have the offense to keep up with anybody. Michigan is probably, to me, I think Michigan is the most complete team in this top 4. Because they have a top ranked offense and they have one of the best defenses in the nation. It's just not getting talked about.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that's why, and it hurts me to say that because Michigan, I'm a Michigan State fan. We got them last year, but y'all can say fuck y'all want. Motherfuckers shouldn't have came in our tunnel talking shit. But I think Michigan, I think they have the most complete team out of this top 4.
I like this top 4 because everybody's had convincing wins and showed a level of dominance that meets the criteria, I feel like, for this playoff committee. But going back to the Georgia thing though, like Stetson Bennett, he has come back to earth, but he's a lot better than he was last year. And then when it's the 4th quarter, this is why people get drafted. And when it's the 4th quarter,
he makes you happy.
He figures out a way. He figures out a way to make it happen. So,
he's like the Jimmy. He's like the Jimmy G of the college football world right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, it's not gonna be pretty, but it's a win.
Yep. So as of right now, who you got in the national title game?
Fuck, man. I can see it, Georgia, Michigan, or I can see Georgia, Tennessee. But it's like, okay, if Georgia beats USC, whoever they play is getting their ass whooped.
For sure. Yep.
I'm sorry. Like if Georgia beats USC, I mean, shit, USC go out there and drop a fucking egg, and then we'll have two Big Ten teams in there. I don't want to see that shit, but
I don't want to see
yeah.
it again because I feel like it's just gonna be a repeat of what the fuck we saw last week. Michigan gonna go in there and beat the shit out of Ohio State again. So then again, it's college football, so ain't no telling what the fuck will happen.
No. Ohio State's gonna have to play Georgia. That's what's gonna happen.
It just might. But moving on to the Heisman watch, which we all feel like, I think we're all in agreement that Caleb Williams has wrapped this shit up pretty much. But we just got to talk about it. But
1 week in 2 weeks, we ain't even looking at that. They used to throw Caleb's name out there like, yeah, Caleb Williams, he is balling. They got full loss, okay. But then Hooker goes out. Michigan's running back gets hurt.
Blake Corum, yeah.
Stetson Bidham cooled all the way to fuck off. You gotta throw Max Duggan in there for sake of conversation, but like a dark horse.
Well, who I was thinking was Drake May out of North Carolina, because he's actually been quietly balling, which we're gonna
those numbers. What's their record as a team?
Yeah, you right. I forgot. I actually didn't take down their record, but
he did. I read a stat. This is probably about 3-4 weeks ago. At that time in the season, he did have more touchdowns than CJ Stroud, more completions than CJ Stroud, more yards than CJ Stroud. Fewer. I think he might have had CJ Stroud by like 2 picks.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, on paper, and then I watched him play. I'm like, because we watch college football, bro. I vote because Mac Brown used to be at Texas and all those fucking years and shit. So I'm just trying to see, can he make because like when he first got his first head coaching job, I do believe it was at North Carolina.
Oh, Mac Brown.
Like where it all started, where it's all going to end at. Because the motherfucker's like 80 years old. But fuck North Carolina.
Yeah, football, I feel the same. Football. I feel the same way about football and basketball. Fuck them.
No, I can't say anything about basketball. Go Tar Heels and basketball.
Yeah. But you're talking about the Heisman race. So Caleb Williams had a hell of a fucking game against Notre Dame, against number 15 Notre Dame this past weekend. Beat them 38-27. Listen to this stat line. I mean, his passing, the yardage didn't jump out, but just like if you watch the game, you passed the eye test. But Caleb Williams went 18 of 22 for 232 yards and 1 passing touchdown, 35 rushing yards for 3 rushing touchdowns. 35 rushing yards for 3 rushing touchdowns. Like I said, it may not have looked when you look at him passing the ball, it may not, like when you look at these stats, the stats don't jump out passing the ball, but it passed the eye test. Caleb played a fucking hell of a game. And it brings his season totals to 3,712 passing yards for 34 touchdowns, 351 rushing yards for 10 touchdowns. Moving on to CJ Stroud. CJ didn't play. He didn't play all. I mean, he had the yardage, but
he had a decent first half last week.
Yeah, like it was okay. CJ's Michigan, number 3 Michigan beat Ohio State 45-23. Ohio State got outscored 28-3 in the second half. CJ was 31 of 48 for 349 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. That brings his season totals to 3,340 yards, 3,340 passing yards, 37 passing touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. And I think he has 70. I think he has a total of 70 rushing yards for 1 touchdown, which I've said time and time. I've said this shit numerous times. Because he's not a rushing quarterback, when it came down to picking a Heisman winner, that's what was going to fucking hurt him, is the fact that he don't rush the ball. So
Joe Burrow didn't really. I mean, he ran for a first down, but he didn't have crazy
he
rushing
just threw the
numbers.
fucking shit out of the ball. Shit. Damn near
He threw for
5,000
six
fucking
thousand
passing yards.
yards.
And then, of course, like I mentioned earlier, we got a Drake May out of North Carolina. I didn't take his stats down from the last game. Forgive me, y'all, but his seasonal totals is 3,847 passing yards, 35 touchdowns, 629 rushing yards, and 6 TDs. So he's just not getting the looks because he's not playing for like a top 10 team. But he's been fucking balling. So that's what I'm saying. Like
no,
he's the dark horse, man. He's the dark, to me, he's the dark horse.
you talking about he ain't getting the look? NFL looking at him. Oh, that motherfucker play here right now. Oh shit.
But yeah, I think we are all in agreement that Caleb is probably going to win. Caleb is probably going to win the Heisman. I mean, I'm sold on it. I know you probably sold on it.
I mean, like, with his performance, I mean, that game he had against UCLA last week, that was crazy. I'm just like, shit. Okay, if he can put another performance together, get to the Pac-12 championship, ball out, and that motherfucker, you can gift wrap that motherfucker. It's signed, sealed, delivered. They shouldn't even have nobody else in New York.
CJ,
just be him and his family.
CJ just didn't play well. That's all. Like I think if he would have won I think if he'd have won the Michigan game, we still would have been talking about him, but he didn't get it done.
They would have gave it to him.
Yeah.
They would have gave it to him because 20 million motherfuckers watched that game.
Yeah, we kept trying to fucking watch it and the thing kept fucking up.
Boy, nigga, we was watching that shit in Cincinnati.
Yeah, pretty much. So all right, let's transition over to the NFL. MVP watch. Pat Mahomes is still the leader. Stat line, 3,585 yards passing, 29 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, 275 yards rushing for 1 touchdown. Josh Allen, 3,183 yards passing, 23 touchdowns to 11 interceptions, 561 yards rushing, and 5 touchdowns.
He's coming back to earth, though.
Yeah.
It fucked me up when I looked at the stat. I know Josh Jacobs is number 1 now. When I saw Justin Fields top 5 rushers, I'm like, God damn.
Because they ain't got no fucking body else. They don't have they don't have any wide receivers for him to throw the fucking ball to. Which, speaking of, we're gonna talk a little bit about Justin Fields later. But I mean, Chicago gonna have to get him some fucking help in the offseason. Otherwise, I don't see him staying in Chicago for very long.
Shit, man. Hopefully he can survive long enough to get the fuck out of Chicago.
Hopefully. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, going back to MVP watch, the third, the last candidate, obviously. Jalen Hurts, 2,560 passing yards, 17 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions, 599 rushing yards for 8 touchdowns, which brings his seasonal total of touchdowns to 26. That's so far. That's for now. So.
I mean, Jalen is balling.
Yeah, they did. Speaking of Jalen and the Eagles, they've had it pretty rough these past 3 weeks. They lost to Washington. I forgot who they played last. I forgot who they played last week. They barely beat them, and then they barely got past the fucking Packers this week.
Colts.
Yeah, the Colts. That's what they barely beat them. Which brings me to my next question. I mean, with how Phillies look the past 3 weeks, do you still think they should be the favorite?
Favorite win the Super Bowl?
Yeah, you still think they should be the Super Bowl favorite?
Look. I just like, and I've been watching Jalen his whole career pretty much since he got to Alabama and then Oklahoma. He has gotten tremendously better as a passer.
Yes,
but like until you get to the playoffs, you ain't done shit yet. Until really the Super Bowl.
Until you win a playoff game, because he got there last year. They just played fucking Tampa Bay. The Eagles barely got there, but they got there. They played Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. So they just didn't bowl well for them.
It's because the NFC East was trash and they just was the winners. But like, how'd they go from the worst fucking division in the NFL to like everybody got a 500 record? So does everybody in the AFC East too, though. So
yeah.
So I mean, that's just interesting to see. But
It's gonna
I
be
just feel
interesting to
like
see how this shit play out.
NFL figures you out sooner than later. Probably. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I can see it go either way. I can see it. Uh, Honestly, I feel like they just gonna lose when it matters the most. Like
Probably. Who's
soon
that,
as
Philly or
like,
Dallas?
come on, bro.
I mean, I had to throw that shit in there. I had to throw that shit in there.
But if they dumbass offensive coordinator understands if you keep running the ball, we can fuck up anybody in the NFL. if he understands that, Kellen Moore, sorry motherfucker, but I don't even know why he still has a job with Dallas, but that's neither here nor there. But I feel like just Jalen's inexperience. I don't know. I could be ass wrong, and Jalen go down there and I'm gonna get this motherfucker. But like, I would love him not to be Ronald Cunningham.
I would love that too. I would
I don't
definitely
think
love that
Ronald
too.
Cunningham ever won it with Philly.
No. So we gonna touch on what's been the hot topic in the NFL the last couple weeks. So OBJ is, of course, apparently it's been reported that he's healthy and he's ready to sign with a team. So we're gonna talk about where you think he's gonna sign? Where do you think he's gonna sign? I'm gonna let you go first.
Because he's a prima donna and he loves attention and the spotlight.
Fair enough.
It makes sense to go to Dallas, but like Dallas is already a clusterfuck every year just because Jerry Jones, media hype. I mean, he knows how to, put asses in seats and sell tickets and shit. So I'm not mad at him about that. But I just feel like LBJ going to Dallas is going to be too much of a distraction. If Kansas City is asking for him, we can go there. I could see a situation where he could play slot on the Niners, but they're probably not even asking for him. They already made a trade or they pick up for this season. I mean, right now it makes sense Dallas, but then he just got caught up in some shit where
which
in and out.
Speaking of, I really think that bullshit was I mean, they know he was about to sign, and because he's such a high profile player, I feel like they did that to create some controversy to try to like hurt his player profile or personality or what the fuck ever. You know how this shit go, man.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes. It's very questionable shit that goes on. But honestly, it could be a situation where he doesn't sign.
I think he will because he wants to play. But so the favorites were, of course, on Thanksgiving it was supposed to be Dallas and no, I think it was this past Sunday it was supposed to be Dallas and the New York Giants. But so those are the favorites. Some wild card teams are of course Buffalo, Kansas City, San Francisco. I would say still,
Buffalo need his ass.
Yeah, they kind of do. But I mean, some possibility because he's in a win now mind state. He wants to go play for somebody that can go compete for a Super Bowl right now. Not just go compete for a Super Bowl, but somewhere where he can finish out the rest of his career. He don't, have to, like he said, he don't want to be the wide receiver 2 anymore. He said he's over that rock star stage in his lifestyle, which I don't know about that. He does have a child now.
Why was your hair purple, motherfucker?
Hey, don't. I'm the wrong one to be asking that. But
I fuck with OBJ though. Fuck LSU though, but I fuck with OBJ.
I don't know who doesn't. I mean, come on now, bro. He had a 3-year stretch where he was just torching the fuck out of cornerbacks. But some leftover wild card teams are still Baltimore. Minnesota is maybe a possibility because they have been kicking ass lately. Miami, I think is still a possibility. I'm not gonna say still a possibility, but I think he could fuck everybody up and go to Miami.
Let's talk about teams with quarterbacks. If he goes to Miami, it's for the lifestyle. It's not for football.
No, it's not. I don't think so. But I mean, come on now, bro. If you put OBJ on Miami with fucking with all that speed on the outside, like, bro, pick your poison. Like, you got to deal with Jalen, Tyreek, and now this motherfucker.
Bro, come on, man. He tore the same ACL he already had surgery on.
Yeah, but I mean, that's why he's pretty much said that he doesn't want to be a wide receiver too. Because
I'm recorrecting a bad surgery and we'll be back better than ever. No.
but like if you had to pick a team that he was going to, like out of all these teams, what team would you pick? Like what team do you think he's gonna go to?
I mean, Coughlin is gone. Eli's gone. I don't think it's one player that's playing there when he was there. Well, Sterling, but he ain't playing.
Saquon.
Yeah, Saquon. But I mean, maybe. But does he want to deal with all that New York shit again? It's cold, you know what I'm saying? Knees and bones and shit hurt differently. I don't know. Honestly, I really feel like he's not signing. To be honest with you, I don't feel like he's doing shit because it's shit stemming from the incident. Now, if the nigga was in a deep sleep, tired, didn't feel like getting off the flight, that's one thing. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of was alarming reading that article because, like, nigga, are you tired or did you take too many Xans or some
Did you
shit?
drink too much fucking wine? I don't even think it was none of that. I think he just he passed the fuck out. I mean, people go to sleep on flights all the time. I fell asleep whenever we went to fucking Oklahoma. So I think they're just making this shit out to be way bigger than it really is.
But nigga, when they say get the fuck out of the plane, all right.
You ain't gotta tell me twice. Let's fucking go.
Right.
It's fucking in this confined ass space for too goddamn long. Get me the fuck, not like you ain't gotta tell me twice. Get me the fuck off this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if I had to pick, I think he's gonna fuck everybody up and go to San Francisco. I think it's either gonna be San Francisco or it's gonna be Buffalo. But I think it's gonna be San Francisco simply because you got to think he has a house out there. Like he loves the state of California. Not to mention, I mean, when you think about it, bro, Carolina's been on a roll. Now that they got Christian McCaffrey, it's like, bro, pick your poison. You could either try to stop the run, and then you could deal with OBJ, Kittle, Ayuk, and fucking Debo on the outside, or you can try to contain, or you can try to stop the pass, which it's a happy medium with that because they got too many weapons in they have too many weapons in the wide receiver core. But can you depend on Jimmy G, he's done well? But then you'll have to deal with fucking Christian McCaffrey and the other running back coming out of the backfield.
I'll tell you the team he wanted to go to is Kansas City. That's the team he wanted to go to.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, it is, you know, Southern California is about 5 hours away from Northern California. That would free up Debo because they're trying to make Debo strictly a receiver now.
Yeah.
It will also, I mean, if he went to Buffalo, it would free up Diggs, but I don't think he want to fuck with that cold weather no more.
Hell no.
Might be January, bro. It's Dome, you know, the star. But I mean, like, bro, you gotta go there. Don't go there and be like Dez on Baltimore, right? Okay, he threw to you, but it was incomplete, and then you finally caught 2 passes for 15 yards
and a touchdown.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, is he even gonna be the same player?
I don't think so. I think that's why he said he doesn't want to be the wide receiver too. That's why I think Baltimore's out because they don't have nobody to stretch the field. You know what I'm saying? They're instantly gonna come in. He's gonna come in and he's instantly gonna be the wide receiver one. Not to mention, I don't think he wants to play in that style of offense to where they run the ball. They're a very run heavy offense. So I don't think he want no part of that. Plus, like you said, it's fucking cold in Baltimore. So I definitely feel like that's out.
Yep, and Buffalo.
Yep. Moving on to the next topic. We've been talking about this shit since I want to say about week 4 or 5. What the fuck is going on with Russell Wilson in Denver? What the fuck happened? What happened? You went from being a fucking MVP candidate damn near every year to
I never got a single vote. Hold on, he never got a single vote for MVP ever. And he damn sure should have won MVP at least once.
Yeah, at least once.
This what happened. This what happened. Nigga
Fair
fuck football. Nigga fuck reading offenses. Why you ain't catch the ball, nigga? That's what he probably shit. He probably invested in the weed out there and making more money off the weed though, kid football. Shit,
Hey, let's keep in mind too that Washington and Denver were the first two states to legalize the recreational use of marijuana. So it's the reason why that could be the fucking reason why he chose to go to Denver.
Nah, bro. To be honest with you, all jokes aside, I don't think the team, in terms of the players, I don't think the players feel like he's their kind of guy. I don't feel like he gained their respect. I don't really feel like he warmed up to him, and Russ is a standalone, quiet kind of guy, and
Right.
that can rub people the wrong way sometimes, and they might try to read into that and all this other shit. But honestly, it's it takes. I never. Let me think of a situation where it took a player a minute. Maybe for rookie quarterbacks, it took them a second. This is a new system, and this, that, and the third. But the main question we need to be asking for this new head coach: how much of that shit was Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
Or how much of that shit is your system?
Yep. That's true.
That's the question, because they got players.
You also got to take into consideration too that a lot of people that are, a lot of like offensive coordinators, they make good coordinators. They're not good head coaches. Most of the time, the head coach is a clock manager. And this fucking dude, Nathaniel Hackett, who was Aaron Rodgers' former offensive coordinator, I'm not gonna say turned him because Aaron Rodgers is already MVP caliber, but Aaron Rodgers is a two-time MVP for the past 2 seasons. Well, he's a 4-time MVP, but 2 in the last 2 seasons. But it's gotten to the point.
Jordan Love.
We're gonna talk about that shit in a minute too. But it's like, not granted, Denver has been hit with injuries. They lost Tim Patrick before the fucking season started. Jerry Jeudy ain't been able to fucking stay healthy. What's the other Albert O, the other tight end, people were high on him coming into the season. He ain't been able to stay healthy. But it's like Russ has done more with less.
Gordon.
Yeah, that last minute fumble. But Russ has been able to do more with less talent in Seattle. So it's like I don't think you can make that an excuse for him. This past when they played Carolina, and Carolina has been statistically one of the worst fucking teams in the NFL. And it's not just this game. I've seen Russ like throw right at defensive ends that are jumping to swat the ball down. It's like, bro, what the fuck are you looking at? He's skipping passes. He's missing, he's missing deep balls. And I always felt Russ was one of the best deep ball throwers in the NFL. So I don't know. At first, I thought it was just like, okay, maybe he just doesn't trust his receivers. I thought it was a combination of him not trusting his receivers and bad play calling by Nathaniel Hackett. Now it's just gotten to the point where, like, you are like, as a veteran, you should be able to overcome shit like that. There is no reason for you to play this fucking bad this late in the fucking season. At this, I mean, they're still considered in the hunt. I don't know after last week, but they were still considered in the hunt. Now they can kiss their fucking playoff hopes goodbye.
The Raiders even got a fucking win last week.
Yeah.
They're back to saying that shit, huh?
Yep.
But I just don't think that the team warmed up to him. So shit, you got him for what, another 3-4 years?
Four. Well, after this year, another 3 years, I believe.
So you need to go ahead and what you need to do is pay for a trip for you and your receivers to go to, and a gist of the trip is you throwing passes to them or something. You gotta figure this out, bro. You gotta figure this out, or
they gave your ass way too. Yeah, my bad. Go ahead, bro.
So you saw having the Blake Bortles. They paid his ass. I don't even know what they traded him to.
Yeah, but come on, man. We can't put Blake Bortles and fucking Russell Wilson in the same conversation. Russell Wilson did go to 2 Super Bowls and won one of them.
this is in terms of shit. Blake Bortles could have got to the Super Bowl. He just start playing like Blake Bortles. But um, I'm talking about in terms of getting paid and playing like shit afterwards. Like I'm
Yeah.
talking about like franchise quarterback. Like this is kind of fucked up because I fuck with Russ. I've always loved watching Russ play all these years.
Same.
So it's very rough, but I guess what I have to say is the system doesn't fit him, bro.
Maybe
The
not
culture.
I mean, I say this season, y'all just get prepared for next season. Russ need to get his ass a little more familiar with that playbook and get some type of rapport with his fucking wide receivers because you've been a flat out fucking disappointment this season, bro.
I mean,
I'm so pissed at Russ, bro. I had him in like all my fucking fantasy teams. I'm like 3-9 in one of because of him. Like I'm done with his ass, man. At least for this, at least for this season. At least for this season. And I take this
hey,
fantasy shit very serious. So Russ, you owe me some money or some tickets or a jersey or something, motherfucker.
hey, you know, we also didn't talk about this. I mean, he was in a run first offense for what 10 years.
Somewhat, yeah, something like that.
So I mean, he's used to having a running game, but then again, like it's only been what Aaron Rodgers, I guess you could say Tom Brady. That's all I can think of. Top of the Aaron Pat Mahomes, top of the hat I can think of a quarterback who's been successful at a running game. But
Yeah.
none of these quarterbacks win a Super Bowl at a running game, except for Mahomes. I mean, they was able to run the ball good enough for them to be respected, but they didn't have no. I don't think they had 1,000-yard rushers since Mahomes been a starting quarterback at Kansas City.
No, I don't think so. I think no, they haven't. They haven't. So
They've always like the Super Bowl year. It was my boy Damon Boom Sooner. He was the guy. Then the year they got back, they got McKinnon late, but shit, it was hilarious.
he's just
When he's
been
on the one
he's not the dude no more.
one year, what it boils down to, he can't stay healthy. But one year he was fumble city, and then all the other years he just can't stay healthy.
Nope.
So, um, it's very hard to win football games in this league if you can't run the ball, and I feel like that's the problem with Russ. So we'll just have to see next year because this year's done. This shit over with.
Yep. Yeah, Russ is this year he is 20 he has thrown for 2,369 yards, 8 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions on a 58% completion percentage. I saw a stat, and I saw a stat that said, and the Broncos have had, I think, number one defense. And I saw a stat that said if the Broncos would have scored at least 18 points this season, they'd be like 8-1 or 9-1 right now. Or they would have been at least 9-1. So it's just this shit is sad.
This nigga turned into I can't even say Russell Bridgewater because even Teddy wins the game.
Yeah.
Uh,
Teddy played way better than he did last season. Teddy played way better last season than Russ is playing this season.
Shit, didn't they win like 7 games?
Yeah, was damn near in playoff contention. Yep.
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be that guy. It's the marriage. I mean, if he's happy, he's happy. And usually, when your favorite artist or when you listen to an artist that's happy at a certain point in their life, is the music good?
It gets to a
No.
point to where it gets to a point to where that shit get old sometimes. But like I said, like you said, the season is over for Russell Wilson and the Broncos. So just get prepared for next season. Next up, we got to discuss a very important and touchy subject. Warning, I'm not gonna say warning, but we are not insensitive people. We understand, we understood the severity of the situation, but let's just jump off into this shit, man. Let's rip the band-aid off. Deshaun Watson returns this Sunday for the Cleveland. He's now quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. He returns this Sunday against his old team, the Houston Texans. If you're not familiar with the whole situation, so the Texans traded away their whole fucking team And then 2 years ago, to the end of the 2020 season, after Deshaun had just led the fucking league in passing, and the Texans go like 4-12 or something like that. Deshaun decides he wants a fucking trade, which I don't blame him. I mean, you wasted my prime years. They had just gave him a contract right after Deshaun requested
And
trade.
you traded away my only fucking receiver to
Yeah.
Arizona for a bag of chips.
Not even a first round pick. But yep, right after he requested trade, all these sexual assault allegations start to come out, which everybody thought it was, the timing of it was very questionable. They took it to trial. The judge did not find enough, didn't find any evidence to prove him guilty of these charges. Deshaun was facing a fucking, I think a 1 or 2 year ban at the time. He didn't play any of last year. He told the Texans he will not play another fucking down for them, and he meant that shit. So midway through the season, not midway through the season, I think towards the end of the season, they managed to trade Deshaun Watson, 3 first-round picks, 2022, 2023, and 2024, a 3rd-round pick in 2023, a 4th-round pick in 2022 and 2024. Gave him a contract, 5 years, $230 million, and gave him a contract for 5 years, $230 million, and he's coming off of a 12-game suspension this season. Now, going back to what Deshaun did, the last time he stepped on the football field was incredible with really no help in the wide receiver core. 4,823 passing yards, 33 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, 444 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns. So if you look past all the bullshit, Deshaun Watson is a very fucking exceptional player. Now it has just come out that 10 of the fucking sexual assault victims are now going to be attending Deshaun Watson's first game back. Now, I want to say this. I'm not insensitive to any of the stuff that went on or any of the allegations or anything, but I apologize for saying this, but I don't know anybody that's been sexually assaulted or violated that would want to see their attacker, especially at work. I don't, it's something fishy about that. And the reasoning behind it is because the lawyers and the victims, they don't want to be forgotten. What's your take on this whole situation?
Okay, like, wasn't it something released that said that Houston Texans paid these girls or a certain number of these girls?
Yeah, all 22 victims have they've settled. They've settled out of court.
So what's the point? You know what it is? They don't want to see him succeed. They don't want him to get back to his life because before all this shit happened, when you heard Deshaun Watson's name because they won the game or they lost the game.
Yeah.
That was it. Or because he played quarterback at Clemson that beat Alabama in the national championship. That's it. That's it. Like, he's the guy that put the first chick in Alabama on, so to speak. So it's like, I really don't understand this. Like, it's been settled. It's been investigated twice by the NFL. They've had a court about it twice, civil court and the regular judicial court. I'm sorry, butchering that one. And it's like, leave this man alone. Let him play football. Like, what else? Like, what? What's the problem? What did he really do? Like, if he's proven not guilty in a court of law, what are we talking about?
I think a lot of this is like the suspension. Even after he was proven not guilty, I think the suspension was the NFL trying to cover their ass because they didn't want to look bad. I don't really think they care. I don't really think they wanted to suspend him because the players union, they weren't taking a suspension, but because the NFL and Roger Goodell didn't want to look bad, that's why they stuck him. Because originally, I think it was supposed to be an 8-game. It was supposed to be a 4-game suspension.
Yeah, and then they went to 6.
Then they went to 8,
Right.
and then they jumped all the way up to 12. So, like I said, at this point, it's like you said, what else? Why are y'all still fucking with this man? His reputation is fucking ruined. Y'all got paid, and now you feel the need to go sit at. Now you feel the need to go sit at the game for what? Because you don't want to be forgotten. I understand that, but there's nothing. The judge said himself there was no evidence or not enough evidence to find him guilty. So, and look, we don't know what happened. None of us know what happened. We're speaking strictly off of the facts. So you can think what you want about the man. You can
okay.
I don't know Deshaun Watson the person. I know Deshaun Watson the football player, and he's a hell of a football player.
Had this been Jameis Winston, I don't even think it would have been on that long because of all the bullshit he was doing. You know, his first after the national championship, maybe his first 5 or 6 years in the league, all the shit he was doing, and I hate to use Jameis because I love Jameis. Like he's grown up to be a fine, young, mature man. He gets it. He's a family man now, so he's off that bullshit, off the high horse, so to speak. So it's like, why is it okay to consistently tear down a black man? Why is it okay for accusations to be put on a black man and it's cool, but that you've heard nothing before this one accusation or accusations now at this point to just make it such egregious? Like I mean,
like we haven't seen a pattern of this behavior before.
Right. It almost feels like we're gonna ruin your life to set an example because like you did something that you was told to do that you didn't do, like on a different scale or something like that. But I don't I really don't agree with this. It's not cool. This man has been nothing but a football player to my knowledge. I've never heard his name outside of football.
Nope.
I mean, I think he has a girl and a kid now, right?
I don't know about a girl and a kid. I know outside of football, he's always had his, put a helping hand in the community. He's always, kept a clear head, tried to stay out of trouble. And it's like, granted, like I said, I only know Deshaun Watson, the football player. The person, the stuff that I've seen is just, you never know what the fuck somebody else is into. But the timing of all this shit and just the situation, like I said, I'm only speaking on the facts, and the facts have shown that he's innocent until proven guilty, and he's been proven to be innocent. So y'all can feel
about this twice. The NFL investigated it twice.
Like y'all can feel the way y'all want to feel about it. Like I'm speaking the facts, and I'm talking about Deshaun Watson, the football player. That's just the way I feel it. But he's playing the Texans, and I think everybody, if you're a football fan, everybody's just hoping he goes out there. I hope he throw for like 500 yards and 6 touchdowns.
And I hope the game was in Houston.
I think it is. Actually, let's look it up because I definitely think it is.
I hope the game was in Houston. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Njoku if he's healthy.
Yeah.
Go the fuck off. I want to see Nick Chubb get some yards. Most importantly, I need.
It's in Houston. It's in Houston.
Go ahead, get that 5-piece to shine. Go ahead, go down to Houston.
I hope he tell his head coach like, dude, don't let me do shit but throw the ball. Just let me throw the ball.
Deshaun, we gotta run the fucking ball, dude. We're gonna get you the chances. Chill. Fuck.
Okay, we back. All right, so our last segment of the show, we're gonna move on to in and out questions. Of course, you give me your whether you tell me whether you in or out on this and tell me why. But first up, so Matt Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, and Justin Fields are all battling possible season-ending injuries. So at this point, do you feel like Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, and Justin Fields to all be shut down because their team, they got a losing season. They're not making the playoffs, so I don't see any point. And then of course Matt Stafford loses Cooper Kupp. He loses Allen Robinson, and his offensive line has just been banged the fuck up all season. Justin Fields don't have nobody, and Aaron Rodgers don't have no help. So are you in or out on shutting down Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, and Justin Fields for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean on that. Yeah, because what are you playing for? So
Yep.
you can go out there and you get hurt for real, for real.
At this point.
Yeah, because like, fuck it, bro. Like it's basically December now, and neither one of y'all are in the hunt. I think maybe the Packers. No, no, yeah, they might be in the hunt.
The
Shit, but
Packers.
yeah, there's no point. Then there might be a game above everybody else, but it's really no point. I
They're
mean,
not
they'd have to
catching.
run out.
They're not catching the Packers. I tell you, not the Packers. The Packers aren't catching the Vikings. I tell you that right now. They're
Right.
at best they can hope for a fucking playoff spot. I mean, a wild card spot.
No, I don't see them winning out. But I mean, that Jordan Love motherfucker. I'm like, oh shit. Like,
Yeah, the way he came in and played yesterday. Yeah, he's.
I'm like,
And if you think about it, because they talked about this on Skip and Shannon, if you think about it, it took Aaron set up under Brett Favre for 3 years. This is Jordan Love's third year, and what he came in was able to do yesterday. I don't know, man. They might be thinking about moving Aaron this offseason if he get to talk about their retirement bullshit.
bro, like that. Even though Aaron Jones dropped it, that sideline throw he made. I'm like,
And you saw
oh.
this shit. Aaron came back out there like, no, like he saw how well Jordan Love was playing. He came back up. No, motherfucker, you ain't taking my job just yet.
No, fuck no, I'm good, coach. Like Christopher McCaffrey once he saw
Cuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard ball. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I can get back in there. What the fuck you talking about, I'm hurt? No, fuck you. I ain't so good. I'm good. No. You saw what happened with shit, man. That trade was out of respect for Christian because thank you for keeping us relevant on this shitty ass franchise. So we're gonna give you the opportunity to be the most successful.
Right. So you all in on Aaron Rodgers, Matt Stafford, and Justin Fields good to shut down?
Yeah, they're not playing for shit, bro.
Yep, I'm all in on it as well. Next up, are you Tom Brady misses the playoffs for the first time. You in or out?
I mean, damn, bro. Who they just lose to? The Browns?
The Browns.
In overtime?
Yeah.
A shitty Browns team? Yeah, but this ain't the last you seen Tom now. Now he married football now.
Yeah.
So
once Tom's, I mean, I'm in. I'm out because they still got to play. I think they got another game against New Orleans. They got another game against Carolina. And they got another game against who the fuck else is in that division? I forgot who else is in that division, but I'm out. Carolina, the Saints,
Falcons.
Atlanta. And the Falcons are playing surprisingly fucking well. Shout out to Mariota for just keeping that team afloat. But
no, bro, man, I never was out on Mariota being the bad quarterback. He just got caught up in I won the Heisman and I want to be, a good quarterback in the league. She just went out there and played. But I mean, yeah, he definitely showed that even if he doesn't stay in Atlanta, he does deserve to be in the NFL.
As somewhere, even as a quality backup, but somewhere. But yep, I'm out. You in? You said you in or you out?
I'm in on that, bro. They don't have. I mean, like just because they didn't. If they stay leading the division, then yeah, but that just means they just won all their division games.
Yeah.
They bad as fuck this year.
They're terrible.
They're bad. So I don't know. We'll just have to see.
All right. Next up, in or out? Oh, I'm sorry. Next, I'll skip the question. But in or out? Jets drafted QB in this year's draft within the first 3 rounds. They move on from Zach Wilson and they drafted QB within the first 3 rounds.
I think they might have signed a QB last Sunday, but
yeah, that Mike White.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. But yeah, dudes, but I'm like, damn, bro, he getting that ball in their NFL windows. I'm like, okay.
I think I'm all the way in because I didn't like how Zach Wilson, he played like shit for like 2 straight weeks. Then they lost the game because he only had like, I think 79 passing yards. He didn't complete that many passes. And he had 1 touchdown in the last 2 weeks. And the media asked him, and they lost the game because on a fucking blocked punt or something like that. And the media asked him, was like, hey, do you take the blame for only managing to get your defense 3 points? No, I didn't. Like, Brady, that's your job right there. You played like shit since you've been in the league. So And they got
Hey, bro.
and they
Technically, this is his second year, bro.
yeah,
Really,
but
yeah.
he hasn't shown much promise or improvement. And they have this year they've had a very fucking talented offense. Garrett Wilson has been playing out of his fucking mind. They still got Elijah Moore up there. They got two good running backs. They got Tyler Conklin. Like they got a good team up there. It's just they don't have the quarterback to put them over the hump. And that defense, like Sauce Gardner, to me, that's defensive rookie of the year. And that defense has been top tier. Like, come on, bro. Would you believe it? The Jets are 7-4. 7-4. Yes.
I mean, since the last game I watched, they beat the Bills. Yeah, I can believe it.
So
they was at home though, but yeah.
So I don't know, man. I'm definitely in on I'm definitely in on the Jets drafting a QB within the first 3 rounds of this year's draft.
Yeah, it's a quarterback draft. I mean, bro, damn near every quarterback in the Pac-12 can come out this year except for Caleb.
Yeah, but Caleb, the next tank for Caleb is gonna be crazy next year.
Can he get it twice? Can he get the Heisman twice?
Yeah,
man, he gonna have it. He might fuck around Nike, might make his own signature shoe.
Hey,
shit, you never know.
His own signature cleat too. His shoe and a cleat.
I mean, I think he already got a Nike there, low key. He got an Apple there. He did the Beats by Dre commercial. I mean, homie. I don't know. If I had to guess, at the least, he probably made 10 million this year.
Oh yeah, at minimum with the NIL deal and promotions and all that shit. Yeah, for sure.
If he win the Heisman, I feel like he'll have a commercial. Like if they went out and make it to the playoffs and shit, he gonna have a commercial for the playoffs. I feel like.
Yeah,
maybe.
All right, next up, in or out. If Tua would have never got hurt, Tua would be in MVP talks this year. You in or out on that?
I mean, they haven't lost the game since he's been starting. It's kind of hard not to say that. I'm in on that. Kind of hard not to say that.
Well, every game that he started in this season, he's actually won. So, the Dolphins have won. So, I mean, I'm all in on that.
He said the Dolphins. Oh shit! I feel like Tua gonna fuck the NFL up next year, bro. For real.
All right, last and final question. This is kind of like a 2-part question. Are you in or out all teams from both the NFC and the NFC? All teams from both either the NFC or the AFC make the playoffs. Which one? Like which? You think the AFC East or you think the NFC East will be the team? All teams that make the playoffs out of these divisions.
Man, bro, like the shift of like the level of competition in the conference, like AFC and NFC, has shifted a lot. Like AFC is just a really tough conference because you got a lot of really good teams, and it just seems like, with the exception of the NFC East, we got to be really good to win games in the NFC.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but I feel like. Well, I feel like Washington might fizzle out, and I feel like Eagles might come back to earth, but that doesn't mean. I mean, bro, if you look at the whole wild card right now, it's the NFC East. Bro.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, I mean, I'm gonna go with NFC East, I guess. No, I don't know. Yeah, fuck it, NFC East because. They play better defense outside of Buffalo. If you got to compare the two in Miami.
Yep, I'm all in on each team in the NFC East making it. I think all 3 teams. Also, I think Philly clinches the number 1 seed with Dallas, the Giants, and the Commanders all getting the wild card. I think with New England, I just think they got too tough of a schedule, and then they got a lot of injuries and shit going on over there. So I don't know. I feel like I just feel like all the teams in the NFC East are much more talented on both sides of the ball. So, it's gonna be real interesting, man.
It's gonna be a beautiful end of the season. It's gonna get real nice. Some quarterbacks might step up, man. Maybe Tua is that night.
Yep, for sure. But I'm gonna have to cut this one short, man. But that's gonna be a wrap up for this episode, man. Once again, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of PPP, the Pigskin Posse Podcast. Y'all can find this episode on YouTube. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. In the meantime, make sure y'all go check out Taking Shots with Tim Breland and Ryan. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you get your podcast from, man. Ryan, I will see you this weekend, sir.
Oh yeah, friends, get me ready to get fucked up.
Yes, sir.
Conference championship.
Yep. Until next week, brother.